Joe Rhino here, and today I have another review for you guys, another Black Series figure review, and it's Luke and Jedi Knight. Alright, before I get any more into the video, I did have a favor to ask. The last review I did was the most viewed video that I've had, and looking at all the behind the scenes stuff, 90% of the people that watch my video aren't subscribers. If you could subscribe down below, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to try to do more reviews more often, other than my regular hauls and whatnot. But if you could subscribe, that would really, if this is something that you want to watch and you want to see, please, like I said, subscribe down below, like the video, and then let's get on with the review. Alright, so if you didn't know already, these are Walmart exclusives. They're hitting stores now. This is actually the Canadian version. I don't know if there's any difference. I got this in a trade. It got stuck in customs for some reason, and it was like sitting in Chicago for like 2.5 weeks or something like that. Like I said, this is going to be a Walmart exclusive. They're actually hitting stores now, so check your stores. They're getting Luke and Jedi, and then they're also getting Force Ghost Yoda. Some stores are getting little pallet displays. I'll put a little image on the screen of the reports that I've seen, and then some people are just finding them on the shelves. So let's take a look at the package real quick. Standard Black Series box. Got the warning and the name at the bottom. Actually spelled it right. There's the side, the back. I'll put a little close up if you want to pause it and read that. And then all the legal jargon. Like I said, I don't know if there's any difference on the back of the package. If this is, yeah, it actually says Hasbro Canada. I don't know if it says anything else, but I'll put the barcode also. Oh, yeah, there's all the other stuff. And I'll set this down, open it up, and then we'll go from there. Real quick, I just wanted to show you guys that I just took him right out of the cardboard, and he does come with one of those triangle stands. So I'm not sure if I like those or not. I really like the idea, but I have one that's made of a soft plastic, and then one that's made of a hard plastic. And the soft plastic ones work good because they're able to form around the feet. But I'll have to pop this one off, see what kind it is. If it's hard plastic, it doesn't really do anything because you can't really shove the foot in there to hold it still. But let me pop them out of the tray, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. Alright, so before I take a look at the figure, I'm going to show you a close-up of the stand. It just has the Black Series logo. Here's the plastic part I was talking about. It's made out of a hard plastic, and it works, but it only works with certain figures because if you can't squish the foot in there, then it can't stand or whatnot. I really like the design. I just think it's something they need to tweak. They need to get a different type of plastic, or maybe do it the other way around so you could have two of those foot pegs or whatnot. But like I said, I really like it. I wish they would put them in with other figures, not just exclusive figures. I'm going to set that aside for now. And then what I really want to do first before I get into the figure is I want to go over something that I've been seeing a lot on social media. Different people talking about this figure. They can't wait to get it. They can't wait to get it and put it with their Vader, or asking how come he doesn't have a gloved hand, because as you know, he got his hand shot. And so I want to do a quick side-by-side by the other Luke and Jedi. And this is the one that came out a few years ago. Luckily, my friend lent me his so I could borrow it for the review. And basically, what I'm reading a lot about is people are, I don't know if they just weren't watching the movies really well, but this Jedi Luke is basically from the beginning of Jedi when he confronts Jabba the Hutt. If you didn't know, he gets his hand shot on Jabba's sail barge, and then he doesn't put a glove on until later on when he's in his X-Wing. So technically, if you take his cape off, then you would have when he's on the skiff and whatnot. And then also, He also wears this tunic or whatever you would call it when he's visiting Yoda, and then he's talking to Force Ghost Obi-Wan, but he has a gloved hand. So, you know, if you wanted to reenact that scene, I guess this figure wouldn't technically be accurate. And then when he makes it to Endor, he actually has the camouflage poncho on, and then he takes that off, and again he has this tunic again when he's talking to Princess Leia, telling her about, you know, being siblings and whatnot. And then when he leaves to go confront Vader, he looks like this, but his flap is up. And then, you know, he has the duel. He goes to the Emperor, has the duel and all that, and then that's basically what this figure is. So I know there's a lot of confusion, and if you already know all that stuff, that's fine. I just wanted to say something about that because you wouldn't believe the amount of comments and just how people were talking about it. But since I have this figure, I wanted to do a quick comparison just to show you guys. Essentially, it's the same exact figure except the new head and then this new tunic, and then it doesn't have the belt. So I've seen a couple pictures where people actually boiled the figure and took this off, and yeah, you could do that, and you could kind of have yourself a death. Back in the old days, we would call it Death Star 2 Luke. So you could technically have a Death Star 2 Luke, but he wouldn't have the accurate glove, and he also wouldn't have the belt. So, but if you look at the mold and everything, it is the exact same figure. You know, the wrinkle in the pants. It's just, you know, it's obviously it was made at a different time. Wrinkles in the shirts. And then, like I said, there's the new head. I am going to, at the end of the video, I am going to heat up the heads, pop them off, and just to show you what this figure would look like with this head. If I can, I'll try to take the tunic off. From what I remember, this comes off, and then you could switch it, and that's what this is under here. It's just the main one. I don't know if it's glued on. I guess I could mess with it, but I don't want to, you know, it's going to be finicky with this tunic and everything. I've heard a lot of complaints that people are having really wobbly leg joints. I don't know if it's I think people were saying in here where the bar that the legs connect to, someone was saying that it just doesn't seem like it's connected properly. I don't know if it's a QC issue across the board. So we'll have to see over time, see if that's something that is going to really, you know, affect the figure. I'll do it on this figure. There is a little give, but nothing like. So this one you can actually wiggle. I think that's the thing that people are complaining about. Where this one, you know, see how stiff he is. But like I said, we don't know. I don't know if that's just like every single figure, if that's, you know, the early ones that hit Canada, if the American ones are going to be any different or whatnot. It's just, you know, time will tell. So let me put this one aside. Actually, before I put him aside, so here's the new lightsaber. And here's compared to the old lightsaber. It looks like it's the same mold, but has a different paint job. And then the blade is a big difference. I thought I saw a video or a picture. Yeah, okay. The actual lightsaber's a little longer on the old one. I don't know if it looks like it's a little thicker on the new one too. But they're both the same peg. At least I believe it is. Yeah, there you go. It was just really in there. But like I said, oh, it's really in there. Oh, that's something. The old one, it just has I don't know if it's going to zoom in on it. So it just has that part, that little tiny little nub that goes in the hilt. This new one actually has, come on, focus. There you go. You see that little ring around the nub? So that's actually going to keep it in there and make it a little harder. So just be careful if you're taking it off. Just know that it's going to be a little harder. I actually really like the color of that green. So let me put these aside. We'll go over the figure real quick. Oh, actually, before I get into the articulation, I'll go over the handgun. This is the palace gun that he gets from one of Jabba's goons. It's actually really nice and detailed. I don't know if I don't have the Lando skiff, so I'm pretty sure I'd have to look online to see if the Lando skiff does come with that. But it's the same. It's a similar gun, just like the vintage figures. They use those guns too. Alright, so now I'm going to go over the articulation. His head's on a ball socket joint. Goes all the way around. Goes up about that far. Goes down about that far. Doesn't have any tilt or anything, but it's on one of those ball socket joints. And then same thing with the shoulders. And then it could go out, go all the way around. There's no swivel at the shoulder, but there is a swivel at the elbow. And it also bends. And then same thing with the wrist, spins around, then it has the, I guess you call it the left and right hinge. And then the other side, same thing, but it has the up and down hinge. Yeah, it has the up and down hinge. And I don't know, since he would mainly use his, I know he comes with the blaster, but I think that since he has the lightsaber, it would probably be better if he had this side by side, but who knows. And then for the torso, he has a cut torso right here, but you kind of have to hold the bottom in order to, you could go left and right, and then it can, so it must be like a ball socket inside the torso, and it doesn't really go forward that much. It does go back a little, but the tunic kind of gets in the way. For the legs, it's got, could go about, actually could go a little further, and then going back it gets caught on the butt right there, and then it does have a swivel at the thigh. There is a double jointed knees, it could go pretty far back, and I don't believe there's any, no, there's no cut at the boot, but it does have the typical hinge, and then it also has the rocker ankles. So it actually does have pretty good articulation. Again, that kind of bothers me a little, but like I said, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a couple pictures, and then I'm going to swap the heads just so you could get an idea of what the heads would look like on the other bodies, if they're compatible or whatnot. So I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I don't know if it was showing or if it was coming out, but my dog was going crazy, so I had to take a break for a minute. But I wanted to go over the head sculpt really quick, just to show you the difference from the past Luke and this one. It's just it's night and day. This new head scan technology that they have is awesome. I mean, just can't get too zoomed in, but those eyes, they just look so realistic. And I think they're doing, it feels, yeah, I think they're doing like separate hair pieces, and I think that also adds to the detail. All right, so here is the new Luke with the old head. I know that's not what you really want to see, but I figured I'd show it off anyway. But here is the older Luke with the new head, and I have to say, if you have an extra one of these Lukes and you could get yourself a extra, the new Walmart Luke, I would recommend popping the head off and switching it. The flesh is a little off. You can see how the redness of the new one, but you know, I honestly think when you're posing it, if you have it, you know, in a certain pose or whatever, it's not, you're not really going to be able to see it, and it's not as noticeable in person. I think it's the lighting and stuff that really shows it off. But like I said, I really think this is I mean, that's like the definitive Jedi Luke right there. The only bummer is the belt isn't on this one. I actually have a little silicone putty. I might make a little mold of this belt, see if I can make my own little belt, and then maybe if I get another one of these I can take the tunic off. And while I was popping the heads off, I was looking under the tunic, and it is the exact same torso and everything underneath here. So it's the same figure, just has this added tunic, and then like I said, it has the new head. Word of caution though, this head has the ball socket inside is recessed more, so you really need to heat this head up. I'd advise boiling a cup of water and just dunking his head in there, getting it nice and hot, because this head popped right off, but the other one, this new one, I don't know if it's the way they did the hair and all that, it was really like around the ball socket, and it took a little to take it off. Alright, so I'm gonna pop the heads back, and then I'm gonna finish up the video. Alright, quick update on the head situation. So I figured I'd show these while they're popped off. This is what I was talking about. See how small the hole is? It opens up in the inside, but this is the new head, and you really need to heat this one up in order to pop that off. And the old head pops right off really easily. And also, while I was here, I wanted to show you something I noticed while I was popping the head. It's the same exact torso, but something I noticed while I was heating it up, this neck piece is actually a separate piece from this torso. It was on this one, because I had to heat it up so much, when I was pulling on it, I noticed the actual neck was coming away from the black part. You can't really see it on camera, I don't think. But if you really wanted to, you had an extra one of these, you could pop these neck pieces off. You might have to glue it in. I'm not sure how that is in there. I don't want to, like I said, this is my friend's. I don't want to, destroy his figure. And then you could swap the hands, and then you would technically have like the ultimate Luke. That way the flesh would match. Like I said, that, I believe this is like a $40, $50 figure now. I'm not sure if that's something you wanted to do. But I wanted to just show that really, really quickly. This might give you a good example. See how it's really, I'm probably going to have to heat it up again just to pop it back on, because oh nope, I got it. That took some muscle just to get on. Where this one, just twist it and it's on. So that's my review. I'm going to take some still pictures for you, put them in a couple poses, maybe put them next to a couple other figures and whatnot, and then please like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'm going to try to do a couple more reviews. I actually have a special project coming up, and then thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.